knew that being FBA or a foundational Black American was about getting a pat on the head from MASSA. Because at the end of the day, just because these two Republicans gave a shout out or a nod to FBAs don't mean anything. Because I thought at the end of the day, Tariq Nasheed, you didn't want just anything. You wanted tangibles. You know, those tangibles that you want. Are these two going to fight for reparations? No. But let me go ahead and tell you guys why this is a problem. But first, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it. I knew that the FBA and MAGA or Republicans, I knew there was some kind of connection between the two. So in this clip, Tucker Carlson is interviewing a potential gubernatorial candidate. His name is James Fishback, right? So right now, Byron Donalds is the main guy. He's in the lead as far as potential nominees for the Republicans, right? So James' whole thing is that he's kind of Groper coded. You know, Nick Fuentes, one of his people. So he's a fake financier, but also he had some allegations about being a predator. They actually kicked him out of the school because they were like, hey, you've been accused of sexual misconduct, so we got to kick you out. Yeah, this guy. But on top of that, he's also a racist. Now, I don't think necessarily James Fishback cares if Byron Donalds is a Caribbean or Panamanian. All at the end of the day, he just sees someone Black. As you guys see here, in the way he spelled it, Byron wants to turn Florida into a Section 8 ghetto. Excuse me? Oh, and trust me, it gets worse. Like, he continues. As you guys see here, someone responded to the hate that he was showing Byron Donalds. He says, cry harder, Byron is ghetto. Continue. Sorry, but we're done with the white guilt and tone policing. Get over it. This is who Tariq Nasheed is propping up just because he gave a whole shout out to the FBAs in this clip. So let's go ahead and watch it right now. Here we go.
And they called you a racist for that?
They did, which is actually quite interesting because I got a call from the Foundational Black American Society here in Florida who reminded me that Byron's mother is Jamaican. He is Panamanian, and they found it quite insulting, in their words, that he would try to claim victimhood of slavery without a single descendant of American slaves in his family.
I like those foundational guys.
They're so good.
Tariq Nasheed and all. I mean, I don't agree with everything, but like they've got a perspective. If your family's been here 400 years, and the descendants of a lot of American slaves or families have been here 400 years, I don't know. I think that gives. I'll listen to you. Like you've
100%.
got, you've got a point of view that is legitimate.
I'll listen to you. It don't sound like them tangibles. Like, do they actually care about giving reparations to us? No, they don't give a damn. And at the end of the day, just because, we'll listen. I thought it was all about getting those tangibles. Just like last year when Trump announced that he was going to have statues, I think like one of Kobe Bryant, Harriet Tubman, and a few other prominent Black figures, right? And Tariq Nasheed praised Trump for it. But at the end of the day, wasn't he tell you not to vote for Kamala? She wasn't Black. She wasn't going to do anything for Black people. But what has Trump done? He made sure to cancel those business loans for Black people. He also made sure to cancel everything regarding DEI and also the Equal Employment Opportunity Act. Now, how do you get rid of that? Right? So with all these things that you see Trump rolling back, and also, don't get me wrong, Black unemployment has also increased too. So how is he helping Black people? They don't care about that. They're basically a psyop for the right, or MAGA in this case, just to get Black people angry, but don't provide any solutions. Because that reparation bills that they try to pass, it went nowhere. And you want to know what we got here in California? Another fucking study, a study of reparations. They've been studying reparations the last like 20 years, probably before I was even born. They've been studying reparations, but that's what they got again. But there's nothing about building a coalition to actually have any kind of power. This is just some shit that Tariq Nasheed talks about online all day about foundational Black Americans. And trust me, I get the point that you have immigrants that come in, that some of them don't respect us. They're able to get certain opportunities, and then they be like, F you to us. And then it's all like, wait, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Black people fighting for civil rights, right? So when you talk about that, that's a real argument. But what is Tariq Nasheed doing as far as building on Black wealth or trying to pass or push policies to actually help Black people? Don't forget, he was a former pimp. And it's funny he likes to talk about immigrants because don't forget, he was a whole Pan-African and talking about liberating, we need to liberate the whole Black diaspora and so forth and so forth. Like, Tariq Nasheed is a grifter. He just changes his opinion. But let's go ahead and continue with this clip, you guys.
I think.
Yeah. And they're unequivocally heritage Americans.
That's for sure.
100%.
They're definitely heritage Americans, if anyone is. And, someone rolls in from Ghana and gets an MSNBC slot and starts speaking on behalf of Black people. It's like, shut up, honey. You've got nothing to do with this.
Right.
That's
Literally.
a fair perspective,
right.
I think.
And so it's good to actually see them call them out for that. That's actually cultural appropriation. Appropriating the struggle of slavery.
I totally agree.
And the struggle of slavery was real. I don't think Republicans ever want to really whitewash that. It's real,
no.
Right? But for
We're
Byron,
against slavery.
They literally want to whitewash slavery. They do. This is why there was a whole fight last year about the African American Museum in DC, because they're all like, oh, certain things are harmful to white people, or they couldn't talk about race in a certain way, so they had to pull some exhibits. Shit is crazy. You are trying to do this. It's all like, did Tariq Nasheed even watch this clip? Oh, he doesn't care. Let me tell you that.
we're against it.
Whether it's in the, West Bank or here or anywhere.
Or anywhere.
Yeah, against it.
And so for Byron's group, his team, to call me and essentially our entire supporting base racists for saying that you're a slave when quite literally you took $45 million. You won't tell us what you agreed to take that money this early in a primary, which is unprecedented. You know this, how unprecedented that kind of money is in an uncontested primary until now. But secondarily, to actually go out and try to gaslight us and think that you're just one of those guys that has been here, since the early 1800s and your family was in the struggle too. You're not. And that's a very interesting term that the foundational Black Americans use. It's called tether. They're tethering these tethers like Byron Donalds. They come here literally one generation in, and they try to just sit around and act so folksy that we're all part of the same struggle and we're all down on and we need to fight against. No, you just got here, dude. Like the Haitians, like the guys from Ghana who just got here, you don't get to just be a part of our system and then lecture us.
You know what the funny part is that I don't get James' whole argument, because if anything, Byron Donalds is a whole coon. So when has Byron ever talked about he's proud to be Black and he had a struggle and all this other stuff? If anything, he does the complete opposite. He caps for Trump. But this is the argument that I'm making, you guys, is that James Fishback is trying to push that narrative about Byron Donalds being so pro-Black because, again, on the right to Republicans, if it's a Black person, no matter who they are, education, where they come from, they all the same. They're all ghetto, Section 8, as he was saying earlier, right? So at the same token, they don't give a damn about any of us. All they see is Black skin. This is not the fight that the FBAs think it is at all. Because at the end of the day, did he talk about the policies that he's trying to push for Blacks or African Americans in the state of Florida? No, what he's trying to do is take away or end red flag laws for guns. And we all know how they get down when it comes to the GUNs. They got the whole stand your ground law. Trust me, that law is not for us. It's for them. Again, not for us. It's for them. You can look at the statistics on that. But even going to that point further, again, just because MASSA gives you a pat on the head and you're like, oh, them FBAs, what does this mean? What does this push? Like, oh, because Tucker Carlson, the same person who just had an interview with Piers Morgan saying, oh, in London, you got all these immigrants and, the country is changing. And then Piers Morgan was like, oh, there's nothing wrong with the country changing. What Tucker Carlson was actually saying is that this is a white country, and now you got all these brown people here. What are they doing? Like, you're not worried that they're going to take over? And Piers Morgan was all like, no, times are changing. Because this is the same thing that they're pushing in America, the whole white replacement theory. The funny part about all of that is that white people are not the majority of the world. They're the majority in little sectors, in little corners in different countries, but they are not the majority of the world. They've never been the majority. So now looking at the situation, this is what they're worried about. This is why somebody like James Fishback, even though Byron Donalds probably has more in common with him, he's pushing the narrative like, oh, this black guy right here, you got to watch out. He's trying to turn Florida into Section 8. And because there's a whole bunch of ignorance, they go in and believe something like that. Even though Byron Donalds thinks probably like 95% of what he believes, 95% of what they believe. But all they see is black skin. And again, the day, I've never thought I'd seen this day when I defend Byron Donalds, but these FBAs, they're not doing anything. What do they do? How do they help the community at all? And some people go like, oh, it's just about lineage. Okay. But what are you doing? Are you doing anything to help black people? Because why is Tariq Nasheed getting donations and money and shit like that? Just to hear him talk? Shit, you want to give money? Give me some motherfucking money. I talk too. But y'all let me know about this situation. Like, are you happy that MASSA gave you a pat on the head? Or do you guys feel what I'm saying about this? Like, the FBA movement is a joke. I always thought they was connected to MAGA and right wing. I never could make that correlation, but now I see it. The more and more that they start talking and start doing shit, I'm seeing it more. Be careful with that whole group, you guys. And again, this isn't to say that I am not, or I'm a tether, or I'm not from this country and all this. No, shut up. Don't try it. You can look at my family history. But at the end of the day, when people like this is telling you not to vote, or you need to get tangibles and all this, pay attention to how they move. Pay attention to how they move. I love y'all for watching, but we out of here, y'all. Deuces, everybody.